Okay, so now we're going to identify the conic section, and then we're going to expand it so that it's in general form. And general form, just a reminder, is always set equal to 0. Okay? So first of all, the way we're going to identify this is we see and notice that this is a subtraction. The fact that they're fractions equaling 1 tells me that my only options that it could be is an ellipse, or it's going to be an ellipse, or it's going to be a hyperbola. So hyperbola. All right. So with this meaning, let's look at first of all an ellipse. So an ellipse, whenever you are looking at a standard form for an ellipse, it's always going to be adding. Okay, so an ellipse has a fraction that's adding with another fraction. Whoops, let me go back. So it's a fraction adding with, whoops, come on now. Let me try to do this one more time. A fraction added with a fraction is equal to 1. And you have like numerators and denominators. Where the hyperbola is going to be subtraction. And you know this from your formula chart. Okay? Where ellipses are both positive, where the hyperbola, one is a positive, and one of them is a negative. Okay, so looking at this, because this is one of them is a negative, we know this is going to be a hyperbola. So we're going to go ahead and label that accordingly. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to look at what is it going to take to simplify this out. So first order of business is I want to get rid of both of these denominators, and I'm going to do it by multiplying by one number that'll get rid of both at the same time. So multiplying here, and finally multiplying with 1. Okay? So your goal right now is to find a number that when you distribute it on this one, and 1, it gets rid of all the denominators. And that number for this is going to be 100. Okay? Since you multiply by 100, this 100 over 25 business is going to, in fact, reduce. Okay? We're going to multiply this one by 100. We can already see what's going to happen there as far as that denominator is concerned. And when we multiply, finally, that 1 that's over there on the right side all by itself, by 100, you can see what it's going to equal. Okay, so it'd be 100 times this 1. Okay, so the 100 over the 25 will in fact change this to 4 over 1. Otherwise, the denominator is gone. These hundreds will cancel, reduce to a form of 1. So they're gone. And now you just have this right here. It almost looks like a circle, but it's not, because this is not addition. And also because 4, you can't have a coefficient on these square terms with the circle. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to expand this out. And we're going to start off by expanding this PEMDAS-wise. So we know this is like x plus 3, x plus 3. And if you distribute, aka FOIL method, this out, you're going to get x cubed plus 6x plus 9. That you're going to then multiply this 4 with, because it's 4 times this x squared plus 6x plus 9. I might have said x cubed just now. I meant x squared. And then we're going to do y plus 2. This 2 will be distributed out. So that when you distribute, you get y squared plus 4y plus 4. That's just the FOIL method. But there's no coefficient there to distribute. So it's just going to basically be distributed with this negative 1 per se. Okay? And we have 100 right there. Okay. So now let's distribute this 4 across that trinomial. And we're going to distribute this understood negative 1 across this trinomial. And we're going to get rid of parentheses. So we have 4x squared plus 24x plus 36 minus y squared minus 4y, because it's a negative 1 times a positive 4. So let's go ahead and do negative 4y minus 4, and then is equal to 100. Just remember, like we started off by saying, general form is when it's set equal to 0. So it's like x General form is basically saying you could put them all on one side as long as it's equal to 0. And it's saying in this form here. So let's go ahead and put them all together as far as x's first, y's second, and then the constant, and then finally set it equal to 0. Okay, so moving this 100 over to the left, it's going to be -4 minus the 100. Okay, and when you do the -4 minus the 100, you also have other constants to worry about as well. So you have a 36, you have a -4, and you're going to minus the 100 because you're moving it to the left side. So let's go to that. 36 minus 4, I'm just taking care of the constants right now, is 32 and 100. And when you subtract it over, it's going to end up with a -68 on the left side with that constant. Okay, so those constants are gone. Now it's about getting all of my x's, my x squareds and my y squareds. So let's start off with our x squareds. Then we'll line up our y squareds. And then we'll line up our x's. And then we'll last end with our y's. So all of that is set equal to 0. This would be the answer as far as that goes.